A whole lot has happened in the Marvel Universe over the past year, so much so that we couldn't contain all of the biggest story beats to just one list. So without further ado, let's hop right into the top 10 biggest moments in Marvel Comics for 2021, Part 2. Coming in at number 10, we have Peter Parker falling into a coma. That's right, the original Spider-Man is currently completely bedridden in the hospital after inhaling a mysterious gas during a fight with the villains known as the UFOs. And while Peter's clone, Ben Reilly, is currently taking on Peter's Spider-Man duties as the official Spider-Man of the Beyond Corporation, Peter's health seems to be declining, with frequent seizures leaving him bedridden and his spider sense being continually activated by the sickness within his own body. And while eventually Peter will likely recover enough to swing through New York City once more, it's still alarming to see one of Marvel's most iconic heroes stuck in a hospital bed during a particularly rough 2021. Coming in at number 9, we have the Hellfire Gala. The last few years have been a particularly interesting time for the X-Men and the many mutants on planet Earth, with mutant kind having embraced the mysterious island of Krakoa as their new home nation, with non-mutants usually never allowed on the island. This all changed for a single night with the Hellfire Gala, Krakoa's first diplomatic event with the outside world in which they could properly reveal their plans for the future of mutants to the rest of the planet. With incredible costumes that would make the Met Ball blush and the eventual reveal that the next phase of the mutant plan involved the ownership of the planet Mars, the Hellfire Gala was a party that everyone who attended will remember for a long, long time. Coming in at number 8, we have Miles Morales losing the rights to Spider-Man. Now, as we previously mentioned, the infamous clone of Peter Parker known as Ben Reilly is back in action in the Marvel Universe as the official Spider-Man of the Beyond Corporation, because Peter apparently signed over the rights to the Spider-Man brand at some point, because of course he did. As a side effect of all of this, the Beyond Corporation decided to send a cease and desist to the teenage Spider-Man Miles Morales, claiming that he's infringing on their copyright. And while obviously a superhero isn't going to let some giant corporation tell them to stop saving people's lives, it still was an amusing commentary on all of the battles that go on in Hollywood over the rights to certain superheroes to this day. Coming in at number 7, we have Johnny Storm ruining Dr. Doom's wedding and getting an unfortunate power boost in return. The Fantastic Four were surprised this year to get a wedding invitation from their mortal enemy, Victor Von Doom, who claimed he was inviting former enemies to his wedding in the spirit of forgiveness. However, although Doom appeared to be keeping to his word, everything went up in smoke when Doom's wife revealed that she had slept with Johnny Storm shortly before Doom had proposed to her. Outraged at this reveal, Doom's revenge on Johnny was to bombard him with an attack that caused his flame powers to never deactivate, constantly stuck in a state of super hot plasma and unable to be close to anyone else, a constant human torch. Some might say that Dr. Doom went overboard with this revenge, but it just goes to show that you don't mess with a guy's wedding. Coming in at number 6, we had the debut of a new Captain America, Aaron Fisher of the Railways. Kicked out onto the streets of Las Vegas as a vagabond following his father's discovery that he was gay, Aaron became a symbol to the homeless and disenfranchised teens of the city as he used a makeshift shield and the imagery of Captain America to fight back against the corrupt corporation Roxxon, becoming a part of a whole network of captains across the country standing up for what's right. Seeing that Cap has moved beyond just being a solo hero and is now inspiring others to stand up for justice in their own way was a nice, heartwarming moment in a year that could definitely use more of them. Coming in at number 5, we have the death of Doctor Strange. That's right, he might have a movie coming out in 2022, but in the comic books, Dr. Stephen Strange was apparently just murdered at his front doorstep by someone he appeared to recognize. As a result of his death, magical evil forces immediately started attempting to take advantage of the Sorcerer Supreme's absence and invade Earth. But luckily, Strange had one last trick up his sleeve, a younger version of himself from the past, preserved in case anything should ever happen to the real Strange. Because, after all, who is better suited to solve your own murder than yourself? Coming in at number 4, we have the truth finally being unveiled about the One Below All. For the entirety of the Immortal Hulk's run, the Hulk seek to learn more about the mysterious evil being that seemed to be connected to all Gamma creatures. The end of this epic storyline sees the revelation that the One Below All, the main antagonist up until this point and seemingly the deepest, darkest evil at the bottom of the entire Marvel multiverse, is actually the same being as the One Above All, aka the Marvel multiverse's highest tier of god. Just like the Hulk to Bruce Banner, the One Below All is a twisted version of the One Above All, destroying what the other creates in a cycle of birth and death. Kind of like yin and yang, but with a lot more glowing green gamma energy. Coming in at number 3, we have Thanos winning an election and becoming Eternal Prime. While Thanos may be best known for being a cosmic warlord and conquering entire planets in his quest for the Infinity Stones, he recently decided to try his hand at politics. Seeking to reclaim his lost eternal heritage, Thanos was convinced to join the Eternals' Unimind during the psychic election to determine their new leader. And given that many of the Eternals were currently unhappy with the leadership of Zurus, the former Eternal Prime, Thanos was able to gain enough favor to win the election, putting a half-Eternal, half-Deviant in control of the entire Eternal race. And I'm totally sure that that won't have any unintended consequences for the Marvel Universe at all. Coming in at number 2, we've got another villain with political ambitions with the Kingpin during the beginning of the new Devil's Reign event. After becoming the duly elected mayor of New York City recently, Wilson Fisk is finally using his power the way his enemies always feared, outlawing superheroes and vigilantes from New York City and using the Thunderbolts team to enforce the lockdown. To make matters worse, Fisk also appears to have ambitions to run next for the presidency of the United States, expanding his superhero ban across the entire nation. And while this event is still ongoing, with Luke Cage potentially running against Fisk during the next New York mayoral election, we definitely haven't seen the last of the Kingpin of crime. And finally, coming in at our top spot, we have the hero Echo becoming the new wielder of the Phoenix Force. Having just been recently added to the MCU as a major character in the Disney Plus Hawkeye show, Maya Lopez just got an incredible power boost in the comics after being chosen as the next host for the Phoenix Force, one of the most ancient and powerful entities in the entire Marvel Universe. Despite not winning the tournament the Phoenix Force was using to find a new host, Maya proved herself after the Phoenix looked through Maya's past and saw all the struggles that she'd survived to get to this point. Getting to see a deaf hero with such incredible powers will definitely be a highlight of Marvel Comics in 2022, and I personally can't wait to see where Echo's story will go next. That's all the time we have for today's list, but thank you all so much for watching. As always, I've been Josh Busker, and I'll see you all next time, Nerd Squad.